I just realized I forgot to click start recording. So for future use, this is game. This is sideboarding for game 2 in this match. Thijs won after a pretty epic back and forth with a lot of sweepers from Sander. So in case you're a new viewer and you have no idea what you're watching right now, this is a live stream of the League Standard tournament in Outpost Ghent in Belgium. League Standard is a budget format that was developed here to make sure that new players have a point of entry into Constructed without needing to build an entire standard deck, as those can be pretty costly these days. So the construction rules are 15 uncommons maximum and up to 4 uniquely different rares and or mythics. So you cannot play duplicate rares or mythics. And it provides for a very diverse and healthy metagame actually. We've seen a lot of different decks here. I see the question, is there an ally deck? At this point, there is black-white life gain, life drain, which is pretty heavily ally focused. But a dedicated ally deck hasn't really broken out at this point. I know some people are playing Naya allies, so green, white, red allies. But they seem to always have a bit of issues finishing games or getting their mana. The black-white life drain, life gain ally deck that uses Kalastra healers and Zulaport cutthroats is more focused around Drana's emissary than around the ally chain. That just happens to be a very beneficial part of the deck. If you think there's an ally deck in the format, feel free to build it and come by a Thursday to test it out against some of the decks. There's always a bunch of guys here ready to test out some of their brews against you. So every second Thursday of the month we have a constructed format like this. It's a 4-round tournament where everybody goes home with boosters. If you go 4-0, you get 7 boosters, and even if you go 0-4, you'll go home with at least 2 boosters. So if you ever want to try this format, if you want to see what it's like to play with decks that are probably worth 20 euros or less, unless you stuff a bunch of expensive rares in there, this is the place to be. It's also really cool. Thijs is not wearing his tiara again. Okay, so I hope you're happy now. So what I was saying, if you're interested in trying out the format, there's still a lot of deck building space that is left undiscovered. So this is still something where you can build your own cool deck and wreak havoc. Okay, no mulligans this time. So let's hope we have a nicely balanced game going. Okay, so we have an Evolving Wild from Sander and a Gain Land from Thijs, both of them having access to their colors. And Thijs' Hedron Crawler back, and Sander gets rid of it straight away. Ah, no, wait. Sander replies with the... that was pretty confusing there. I think Thijs was a bit confused as well. Okay. Thijs, Kozilek's Predator. So this looks like after we got the demonstration of the Thopter aspect of his deck, we're going to see the void side of his deck. It's funny to see these kind of things happen. It's like in round 1 where Niels van der Velde started out with a very aggressive token strategy and then came back in game 2 with an all creatures draw. It really threw off Ian's capability for sideboarding, casting several duresses that hit nothing. Okay. Sander chooses to display his deck. Guess he's really proud of it at this point. So far a very quiet start to this game. I guess everybody's watching this full of anticipation for the coming madness. The Kozilek's Predator can start becoming an issue, but at this point it's just a 1/4. And a Vile Aggregate that gets taken care of with a horribly awry. Oh, my pronunciation is starting to go down. I'm really tired at this point, so excuse me for that. Oh, and a Dispel to protect. So Thijs is ready for this control matchups. And finally, Sander gets some damage. So Murderous Cut takes care of the Vile Aggregate. That can get out of hand pretty quickly. A Whirler Rogue or Pia and Kirin next turn could have had that attacking for 5. 4, sorry. No, 5. Pretty painful. But Sander recognizes the danger and neutralizes it. Attacking for 1. Sander playing draw go. But right now he's not under a lot of pressure, so let's see when Thijs ups the ante here by committing something to the board. Yeah, commentating on your own is it's pretty hard. The fact that you have to keep finding something to talk about is pretty exhausting. It's pretty hard on the throat as well. Okay, missed some interactions there, sorry. Thijs, life totals? Thijs, life totals? Okay, apparently we didn't miss any damage though. It's the most important thing. Thank you, Thomas. It means a lot to me to hear that I'm doing a good job. I'm having a lot of fun as well. It's pretty cool to be doing this. So in the meantime, Thijs keeps poking Sander for 1. I think that's a Whirler Rogue, yeah. So finally committing something to the table. This might be the critical mass Sander was waiting for, yeah, for a Tendrils. He learned from that game 1 not to fire off his Tendrils prematurely. Plays the land, goes back up 1. And that's the thing with these control decks, they're always waiting for that point where they need to answer something, and if they do have the answer, it can look like a pretty big sweep. 16.
15 voor Sander.
Ah, ja, okay.
No protection, no more.
Again, a little miscommunication. Thijs gained 1 life from the gain land. Sander lost 1 from the attack. So Thijs keeps poking for 1, but Sander is sick of it. So, 2 empty boards. That's quite an advantage for Sander at this point. Thijs does have the land that can produce 2 top tiers, but whether he wants to sacrifice that already is what he's contemplating right now. His deck does run on a rather low curve. I think it tops out at 4. So unless he's trying to go for a turn where he plays multiple things, yeah. So he chooses not to go for it. That's a heightened awareness. Sander further sculpting his hand, making sure he has all the available answers. And he cancels and protects his card draw spell from the Disdainful Stroke. So Thijs' sideboard features both Dispel and Disdainful Stroke. Yeah, the format's amazing, Quest Beaver, and if you could, you should really try to get over here if you're in Belgium. If you're not, you try to start something up, start your own community. It's what I would suggest to pretty much everyone. It's pretty awesome, and it's a great tool to get new players in. So Quest Beaver, if you want to, you can contact me. Stay in the chat for a while. We'll see if we can do something to see if I can get something started in your vicinity. So that's his Pearl Lake Ancient, and Sander anticipates. So Sander playing Pearl Lake Ancient is him telling that he wants to try and go on the offensive.
14, 16.
Okay. They're still attacking for free in the air, just like the previous game. And Thijs has the Hedron Crawler as an emergency blocker. Okay. Yep. So this is a race Thijs is losing. I wonder what his plan is here. He has a lot of chump blockers, of course, when it comes to that. And he just wants to do as much damage as possible before he needs to start doing that. Just has to watch out that Sander doesn't have a removal spell if he only leaves one chump blocker behind. It's another heightened awareness. So, remember last game I talked about the deck philosophy, the ability to keep playing relevant cards. Again, Disdainful Stroke gets cancelled, so Sander gets to sculpt his hand. And the Treasure Cruise. Yeah. Sander's chaining draw spells together. His hand must be pretty impressive at this point. Again, the Disdainful Stroke gets cancelled. It's a bit ridiculous at this point. Yeah, so that's also a couple prowess triggers, and see, yeah, that's the problem. So if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 prowess triggers. Yeah, but he doesn't have the 4th spell. Yeah. Oh, he does have the 4th spell. It's the Grasp in Darkness. Bam, that makes it 1-1. Okay, that's cool. I love when matches go to game 3, especially when it's back and forth like this. We've had some pretty nice matches on camera right now. It's pretty lucky there. Ik heb dat er nog niet opgezet. We gaan dat er binnenkort wel bij zetten. So, sorry, we don't have an indicator on screen to show the games. Right now, both players have won one game, and we're going to game 3. Yeah, we'll see to put a games indicator in the green area in the middle, the gray area in the middle soon. Like I said, we're still learning and looking to improve. So, Estoril, actually all these cards are standard legal, so they're from the last couple of sets, and if you have an active community of drafters in your community, I'm pretty sure they can give you 99% of what is in these decks for free. So don't worry about that. It's all about building your community, getting the different groups together, and making it work. If you have any higher level competitive players, it's quite likely that they are wondering what to do with their draft leftovers anyway, and making them feel good by being able to donate to newer players, beginning players, is a great way to build your community, and one that I can only endorse. It's how we got started as well. We started with like 2 or 3 new players almost 3 years ago, and now we regularly have 25 players at our drafts and constructed events. We have currently 29 players in this casual fun event on a Thursday evening. Yeah, it's limited but constructed. It feels like playing awesome limited decks that have access to cross-format cards against each other, but really streamlined, overpowered limited decks, and it's pretty cool to not only play but also to build for it. So, Thijs mulliganing in this decider. So, to remind you, Thijs is at this point wearing the King of the Hill tiara, which means that if Sander defeats him, he gets to wear it in the next round, and wins an extra booster for defeating the King of the Hill. Okay, drawing is opening 6. And he keeps. Okay, we have 6 cards against 7, and Thijs is on the play. And we're off for game 3. I think we have plenty of time left in the round as well. Let's do a quick check. We have 14 minutes left in the round, and Thijs opens with his trusty Hedron Crawler yet again. Should be the slogan of the format. Yeah, we don't really have a slogan right now. Okay, Thijs going for Vile Aggregate, and Sander not with his flurry of removal and counter spells at this point. Let's complete disregard. Okay, so we do have some interaction. Thijs does have a lot of counter spells available to him. Does he have the... I think I see a negate. Yeah, so he has Dispel, Negate, and Disdainful Stroke in some numbers. It's a really good idea to diversify your counter spells, because it makes it harder for your opponent to anticipate what you can play. So Sander goes to 21 because of the gain land. Okay, attacks for 2, and apparently we missed an attack again. So he took 2 earlier from a previous attack, and now took 2 again. This game is a lot less hectic than the previous one, and the fact that Thijs actually got to keep his vile aggregate on board this time might indicate that Sander's hand is a bit clogged with expensive cards. It's a Ruination Guide, so that gives 2 extra power. Yeah, but the Murderous Cut takes care of that. Thijs does have 2 mana open for, I expected the Disdainful Stroke as well. So that's 4 damage to 13. Yeah, Thijs' strategic counterspells are really fixing it. And yeah, he did ingest a Flaying Tendrils. Yeah, Crux of Fate manages to get rid of the rest, and Thijs reloads with a Sky Spawner. So he keeps the pressure up here. Sander's deck has quite a few high mana cost cards. The Heightened Awarenesses that we saw earlier, for example, could be clogging up. And he disregards the Sky Spawner. Well, still takes 1, down to 12. Hey, that's a problematic thing with all these token decks, is that sure you can answer the main card, but they always leave behind so much little guys. And the Flaying Tendrils would have been the answer, of course. So 6 mana, this is Drowner of Hope. Yeah, we've seen this in the previous rounds. Yeah. So it's a 5/5 that brings 2 1/1 Scions along with it. It's a decent clock. It's a 2-turn clock at this point, and it doesn't do much in the way of tapping creatures against Sander's deck, because he doesn't really play any except Pearl Lake Ancient. So at this point they're just a fat clock. Okay, first attack for 7, and Sander takes it. Oh, that's a bad sign. And he already played this Crux of Fate, which is pretty much the only card he has to answer this board all at once. So he's really digging hard to find a way to get out of this situation. It goes back up to 6 from his land. Come on, Sander. Well, if he has removal for the Drowner of Sorrow, he makes the. It still leaves a clock of 3. So it's not looking so good for Sander right now. And yeah. Okay. Drops down to 3. So that was a Grasp of Darkness just to save some life. That's bad. Come on, Sander, do something. And this pretty much is the same as giving up. I don't think he has anything in his deck. Yeah, and that's the handshake. Okay, Thijs wins 2-1 and keeps the tiara. Right now we have about 8 minutes left in the round, so let's hope we see you guys back in 10 minutes for round 4. If there are any players or any decks in particular you want to see on camera, feel free to put it in the comments and I see what I can do. Yeah, wearing the tiara brings a lot of good luck. But as long as he wins, we get to give away random free boosters, so that's a good thing, no? All right, let's get this ready for the next round. See, as we see, he isn't playing that many counter spells. It's just 2-offs, and that makes it so that it's harder to. I don't know. He has a higher amount, but it makes it so that it's harder to anticipate what exactly Thijs can counter. I mean, the things that are threatened by a disdainful stroke and the things that are threatened by a negate, they don't have that much of. They do have an overlap, but it's not complete. So if Thijs has 2 mana available, those two sort of get combined, and you pretty much are only safe playing creatures that cost 3 or less. So it makes for a very diverse answer package. So aristocrats, blue-red prowess, landfall allies. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. We already had the black-red tokens. That's a bit aristocrat-like, but I assume you mean more the Nantuko deck. We had Ian on screen with his blue, black, green Nantuko aristocrats-like deck. So, but we'll try to put some other decks, some other players on camera. I'll be leaving you guys for 10 minutes, so see you soon.